How's it going? Hope you're having a great day. If you're new to this channel, my name is B. Smitty. I'm a photographer from Ohio, and this video is about a big change of how I distribute a lot of my content. So I've used Patreon in the past, and I'm just going to get right into it. And I basically wanted to restart it. This was midsummer. I was getting ready to photograph my photo project Fair 4, and I had these ideas of, all right, I want to do this behind the scenes, extra content photos, see the photos early, let's, have conversations, videos about it, that type of thing. And at that time, Patreon it's not set up for how I envision doing work and getting it out there and having people who want to see it. The big problem at the time was, so I'm going to kind of bounce around in this chat here, but I think this video is definitely needed. This conversation is needed in the sense of the decision and how much better it actually is, and how this wasn't even available back in the day. And that's the great thing of things helping out creators and getting out of only one way. Like musicians back in the day there's only one way to get music out there. Now they can post music and make, there's a whole bunch of stories like that. And this having bonus features, that's why I always like to kind of refer it as well. Like the day of buying a DVD and having bonus features. It's just still the things that they say if you buy something off of Apple Movies, there's bonus features. So there's something more for, your support basically. So at the time with Patreon in midsummer, when I decided I wanted to start it completely over and really go full send on content for people who want to support the process and, build off that. So I was working on it. I posted a few things, and it just, even at that time, so something happened with Patreon. I was talking to someone in person, and they downloaded the app, and they searched my name, and my name didn't even come up. My page didn't come up. And then so I pulled up my phone, and I looked up some creators that I knew had Patreons, Patreon pages, and it was the same thing. On the app, it wouldn't work. If you'd go onto the website, on a computer, it would pop up. But for some reason, you'd only get one result, and it didn't make sense because literally my Patreon is patreon.com/bsmitty. So you'd think if you would search B Smitty, I would be the one that shows up, but that's just not the case. It's not even a B Smitty person who pops up. It's something else. I forget what it even is. I mean, this was in the summer when this came up. So with that whole process made me think of, and I knew it kind of before, but this really amplified it to where, so if someone goes to my website and they want to support a project, then they have to go to another website that's not my website to either sign up. Well, you have to. So when you go to bsmitty.com, you'd have to go to Patreon, sign up for a Patreon account, then join, pledge or become a member, whatever they phrase it on Patreon. And that's the whole process. If it's on your phone, which is what majority of people are doing, most people are doing this. If they're supporting a creator, it's usually on their phone. People do use iPads, which is actually the same thing as it's just a bigger iPhone. But some people do use computers. I get it, but iPhone dominant. Even with my website, I get all the analytics behind the scenes. I remember back in the day when mobile, when it would show that was 30%. Now it's I don't know exactly what it is. I think it's in the 80s on average. So it's just, phones are the way it is, and I think they consider iPads phones too. So it's just the tablet phones. That's what people are lurking on the internets with these days. So now I'll tell that next part where, say if you're on your phone, you go to bsmitty.com, then you're redirected to Patreon, which then redirects you to the App Store. You have to download the app. You have to sign up for Patreon within the app, and then you pledge within the app, and then the content is within Patreon. I can send people away from Patreon, but they have to be into Patreon originally to get back to my website, to the content that I wanted them to see. there's just so many walls, so many doors, so much crap to really go through to show these bonus features, this extra content. So I know that was a lot to say, and I think that last part really summed it up really well. But I think all that needed to be said for the mind frame I'm in of how I want to make a change. And this change wouldn't be possible without my website company, which I use Squarespace, has changed and they've added features. Um, Power just flickered, and if so, my website beastmedia.com now has the feature that has basically a membership within the website. So they have you sign up still, but you're not redirected to another app. You're not going to Patreon. You're not doing anything. I'm going away from Patreon completely. So you sign up at beastmedia.com, and this is all secure stuff. It's using the big name things like PayPal, and all that type of stuff is available. You just use your card. It's very secure. It's proper, and and there's just one fee. It's Patreon was very weird because they kind of made it. You feel like you had to do these tiers, and that you had to give something to have someone want to become a member, which I don't really feel that's true. So I decided to have a very low one membership tier of $5 a month, and you get complete access to the bonus features. And so there's gonna be videos that are exclusive to the website. So it's actually gonna be a blog form. So I'm actually so excited for that, because now you'll be able to go to the membership blog and see the new content. So it could be photos. It's so much better than, like, say, an Instagram post or a Facebook post. Like a blog, you can get real detailed. I can show a video and text and then photos, more whatever. It can be this whole thing and really tell a story within one post. And it can be long, however long I want it to be, if I can get the words out. So there's just so much that can happen. Be a blog, and having the exclusive videos, archive photos from the past that I haven't posted anywhere else. I'm definitely gonna be doing that. Photos the new photos I'm taking behind the scenes. There's gonna be so much happening on the blog for members at beastmedia.com, and so it's not only is the process of supporting what I'm up to and getting all this extra content, it's going away from a third party website that is confined to how their posts are, and your support is actually at Patreon at that time. So now, with it being at beastmedia.com, you're fully supporting me, the artist, instead of having Patreon take their own fees and have this whole thing, which I wanted to add at the end here, because I know I've had Patreon members, and if you're still on there, I suggest honestly leaving, because I'll not be posting on Patreon anymore. They're making a big change as well, which when I was doing this research, there's just so much has happened as well. So in November, Patreon is now, since it's dominated by the App Store, which that's full circle there. Everyone's using iPhones basically. There's other phones out there, but the big percentage, the main by far, is iPhone, Apple, and they're charging the 30% standard fee to Patreon now, and they're adding that to basically the supporter of the creator. And I can choose to not have that happen, and it just takes out of my portion of the whole piece. So say if I charge $5, they charge, I think, 8%, and then it'll be another 30%, and then there's probably a transfer fee of something. There's a lot going on there with fees, of course. And I get that's out of Patreon's control, but at the same time, this whole thing just highlighted my ideas of going away from it, really. I mean? It's not an App Store thing with Squarespace. You can go onto the website from your phone and subscribe just on the browser. So you're not downloading an app, and it's just way more organic, and I feel way more just like, even though Patreon's legit, this just feels way more legit. Like you're going to my website and supporting what I'm up to. So hopefully all that made sense. I think this video was I needed to go through all this, and I know it kind of bounced around like I said I was going to. But yeah, I think I hit all the points there. But again, so beastmedia.com, go there. It's on the membership tab, or if you go to beastmedia.com/members, and you just sign up right there. And it's $5 a month, and there's gonna be blog posts with a ton of content, and there's information there, but it's gonna be so nice. But yeah, just getting away from Patreon, where say if you paid $5, you'd actually be charged 30% more on top of that. That's what Patreon's pushing for the creators to do. Basically, they don't want to deal with, and they don't want the creators to deal with it. So they're giving the 30. They made a video of giving that 30% fee to the person who's supporting the artist. And I'm glad all that happened, because that really made me do research with Squarespace and really figure out what I wanted to do. And this is just the perfect, once I realized how it works within Squarespace, I didn't know, like I just thought, I was like, okay, it's like, this charge you had to do, and it was just going to be like links and like kind of messy, but legit, like it's a blog once you're a member, and it's all going to be in one place. So I might have repeated myself there, but I just wanted to make it clear of exactly what it is. And I'm going to top it off with, there's going to be a secret shop within it as well, and there's going to be a postcard, a specific postcard for each month. So November we'll have a postcard that's going to be available at the secret shop, and it's just going to be super cheap, very cheap, cheaper than anything else I have on the shop. And it's basically going to be like, if you want to support even further and get a postcard print, which I won't have postcards on the store at all normally. So the postcards are 100% just a part of the secret shop. And yeah, I just wanted to point that out too, that like there's gonna be cool like extra things like that as well, just to kind of have these more exclusive, behind the scenes stuff, as well as physical items as well. Because that's one thing I've been trying to do a lot more, is printmaking. And obviously I just finished my Fair 4 project, where I bound a book here in the studio, printed everything, assembled it. But anyways, I'm going to stop blabbing on here, as I always end up doing. And I hope all that made sense. Again, if you want to check more out, go to beastmedia.com/members. And if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button here, and I'll see you in the next video.